Tim Coons.
Tonight, several developing stories as we come on the air in the hot seat. The president's own pick for attorney general breaking with the president, saying Robert Mueller is not conducting a witch hunt. And would he fire Mueller if the president asked him to? How he responds. Also developing tonight, the Jamie Closs case. For the first time, we hear from the family of the alleged kidnapper, accused of killing her parents, throwing her in the trunk and holding her captive under a bed. After crafting this chilling plan, did he do anything before? What his family is now saying. Two major storms we're watching at this hour, moving across the country, set to slam the east with snow and dangerous driving after paralyzing drivers in the west already. Day 25 of the government shutdown, the lines at the airports, and tonight the FAA ordering inspectors back on the job, arguing passenger planes need to be inspected. The terror attack we're following tonight still unfolding at this hour, several dead inside an upscale hotel. Tourists, workers scrambling for safety, and you will see the surveillance as the attackers storm the hotel. The urgent manhunt, a gas station employee who tried to stop a customer who did not pay. He is then run over and killed, over $22. The baby in the well tonight, Candy, has now been discovered partway down the well. We'll have the latest on the toddler still trapped. The World Series MVP charged tonight in a disturbing case. And Hello Dolly tonight celebrating a beloved actress.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Tuesday night. And we begin tonight with President Trump's pick for Attorney General on Capitol Hill and answering questions in front of the American people. William Barr was asked, is the Mueller investigation a witch hunt? He said no. Asked, would he fire Mueller if the president asked him to? Tonight, how he responds to that. And this evening, this question: will the American people get to see the Mueller report for themselves when he's finished? What Barr said today, it made immediate headlines. ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas leading us off.
Tonight, the president's own pick for attorney general saying he knows Bob Mueller, that he's a Marine, he's a friend, and that Mueller would not conduct a witch hunt, vowing to protect the special counsel's investigation.
It is vitally important that the special counsel be allowed to complete his investigation. I have known Bob Mueller for 30 years. On my watch, Bob will be allowed to finish his work.
Barr defending Mueller against those words that the president has tweeted so often, the claim that Mueller is on a witch hunt.
Do you believe Mr. Mueller would be involved in a witch hunt against anybody?
I don't believe Mr. Mueller would be involved in a witch hunt.
And William Barr insisted he would resist any pressure from President Trump.
I will not be bullied into doing anything I think is wrong by anybody, whether it be editorial boards or Congress or the president.
Democrats pressing Barr, asking him, would you fire Mueller if the president asked you to?
Assuming there was no good cause?
Assuming no good cause.
I would not carry out that instruction.
And will the American people ever see Mueller's report? Barr saying today that under Justice Department guidelines, Mueller's findings would be confidential, but that in the interest of transparency, he would then release his own summary of the report to the public and Congress. He did, however, say that neither Trump nor his lawyers would get to edit Mueller's report.
He could take this investigative report, put his own spin on it, and correct it before it's released. Do you commit that would not happen if you were Attorney General?
That will not happen.
But it was Barr himself who wrote the Justice Department a memo just last year, raising questions about Mueller's investigation into possible obstruction of justice. When pressed today about what he wrote,
I think it was entirely proper.
And given what he wrote, when asked what he would do if career ethics officials recommended he recuse himself, Barr said there are different kinds of recusals, some mandated, others that are judgment calls.
Let's imagine it's a judgment call, and the judgment by the career ethics officials in the agency are that you recuse yourself. Under what scenario would you not follow their recommendation?
If I disagreed with it.
And what would the basis of that disagreement be?
I came to a different judgment.
On what basis?
The facts.
Such as?
Such as whatever facts are relevant to the recusal.
All right, let's get to Pierre Thomas. He's live up on the Hill tonight for us. Pierre, I want to get back to what William Barr said today about that central question, of course. Will the American people, really folks on all sides of this, will they get the chance to read Robert Mueller's final report for themselves?
David, they may never see the original Mueller report. That's going to be submitted to Barr if he's confirmed. Barr will write his own summary of the findings, and he will decide if it's released to the public. The bottom line, Barr will decide what we all get to see, David.
All right, Pierre Thomas, live tonight, leading us off. Thank you. There is also new reporting at this hour about that horrifying kidnapping and escape of 13-year-old Jamie Kloss. New and chilling details of that plot. Prosecutors say Jake Patterson explained why he chose to use a shotgun to kill her parents, how he burned her clothes to destroy evidence, and how he boxed her in under the bed. All of this tonight as his family now speaks out for the first time. Were there any warning signs? What they're now saying. Here's ABC's Alex Perez.
Mr. Patterson.
Tonight, the family of the man accused of kidnapping Jamie Kloss and murdering her parents, breaking their silence. His grandfather telling ABC News something went terribly wrong. Nobody had any clues. We are absolutely heartbroken. It's wrenching to deal with. Adding that his grandson was shy and quiet. He backed off from crowds, but a nice boy, polite. Computer games were more of a priority than social interaction. Patterson's childhood friend stunned too.
Everyone liked him. He was a good student. He was pretty happy for the most part.
But prosecutors painting a picture of a cold-blooded killer who, according to court documents, chose a 12-gauge shotgun because he thought it would inflict the most damage, later burning Jamie's clothing to get rid of evidence, often forcing the 13-year-old under his bed, boxing her in with laundry totes and barbells.
Would you like to say anything, sir?
Tonight, Patterson's family struggling to understand what went wrong, his father and brother silent as they left the courthouse.
Did you know this was going on?
Let's get back to Alex Perez with us live tonight again from Wisconsin. Alex, Patterson's family is also describing his mother's reaction when she heard the news.
David, family members say Patterson's mother initially was hoping authorities confused her son with someone else. They say he had no mental health issues growing up. David?
Alex Perez again tonight. Thank you, Alex. We're going to turn now to the dangerous series of storms on the move tonight. Two systems headed for the east with snow and dangerous driving after slamming the west already and into tonight as well. Heavy snow trapping drivers for hours on Interstate 5. This is north of Los Angeles. Rain causing dangerous mudslides, forcing evacuations in Encino, California. Let's get right to meteorologist Rob Marciano. He's got the new track of all of this tonight. Rob?
Hi, David. These are two dynamic storms that are going to power through the Rockies. Look at the map of California tonight, just lit up with advisories. High wind and blizzard warnings just added to NorCal. SoCal still dealing with tonight's storm, but tomorrow's going to be bigger and broader than the entire West Coast. 60-plus mile-per-hour winds in the Bay Area, maybe over 100 in the mountains. Tonight's storm by Thursday night gets to the East Coast with a wintry mix, and then over the weekend, the bigger, stronger storm really slams the eastern third of the country. That's going to be a high-impact event on both coasts. David?
All right, we'll be watching it for the next several days. Rob, thank you. The travel headaches are mounting elsewhere, too, at many airports across this country. Tonight, of course, day 25 now of the government shutdown. And this evening, the FAA is now ordering inspectors back on the job without pay to inspect passenger planes. This comes amid long lines at the airports already as more unpaid TSA workers call out sick. And for the first time today, 41,000 active duty Coast Guard members deployed all over the world are now not getting paid. ABC's Steve Osunsami in Atlanta tonight.
With no end to the shutdown in sight, in Atlanta, the airport is warning passengers to get here 3 hours early for when Monday's long security lines return. And never mind that no one's getting paid. The FAA tonight is telling 1,700 of its safety inspectors that they have to get back to work to keep the planes safe.
This is a little scary, though. I just flew. My son doesn't want to fly because he said the air traffic controllers aren't being paid.
Over at the TSA, the sick out continues. Nearly 7% of airport security workers are staying home if they're not going to get paid. In Tampa, they opened a food pantry at the airport for TSA families. The Manners in Northern California are one of 41,000 active duty Coast Guard families who should be getting a paycheck today, but instead are looking for free diapers and donated canned goods.
Luckily, we did start saving when we first heard about the shutdown, so we have a little bit to live off of, but not enough to live more than maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks.
This is a first for the Coast Guard, service members who risk their lives at sea all over the world.
Take what you need, take as much as you need.
At this Coast Guard Operations Center in Connecticut, the compassion from strangers is pouring in.
How about mac and cheese for the kids?
Delivered in boxes of oatmeal and green beans. The FDA says the food we eat has to be kept safe, so they're calling their people in too. The IRS is doing the same. More than 46,000 of their workers are now being called essential. The president is now saying that this shutdown could last for a while, which isn't the best of news for families who aren't getting a paycheck, others who've been called back into work, who've had to give up part-time jobs that they've been using to make ends meet. David?
Steve Osunsami on the shutdown for us again tonight. Thank you, Steve. We're also following a terror attack still unfolding overseas at this hour, the deadly hotel attack in Nairobi, Kenya. Gunmen storming the hotel and office complex. Tonight, surveillance images now emerging of the gunmen entering the hotel. Guests and workers in a panic, running for their lives, and one of the first police officers on the scene saying he saw bodies but had, quote, no time to count the dead. And just a short time ago, reports of more gunfire. Here's ABC's James Longman now.
Panic gripping Kenya's capital, Nairobi, as explosions and gunfire ring out. Terror strikes. 3 p.m. near the upscale Dusit Hotel. An explosion outside a bank hits 3 cars, while a suicide bomb goes off inside the hotel lobby. Surveillance video shows 4 gunmen entering the hotel, opening fire, sending guests screaming into the street. People fall over themselves to escape through windows, crouching in the dirt. Anti-terror squads rushing inside, where they go from room to room, flushing out the attackers, the operation taking hours. Plainclothes officers leading dazed victims to safety.
Not today, my sister. Today you're not dying. You're not dying today.
Al-Qaeda-linked terror group Al-Shabaab claiming responsibility. There's no official death toll in today's attack. Witnesses say at least 5 were killed.
The government did say the site was secured, but more gunshots were heard. And tonight, families reporting loved ones still inside, hiding and texting for help. David?
All right, James Longman monitoring developments. James, thank you. Back here at home tonight and to the growing firestorm on Capitol Hill, Republican Congressman Steve King has been stripped of his committee assignments, but he took to the House floor today to explain why in an interview with the New York Times, he asked how white nationalist, white supremacist, how that language became offensive. ABC's Mary Bruce on the Hill.
Under growing pressure to resign, tonight Republican Congressman Steve King isn't going anywhere. After an interview at the New York Times in which King asked white nationalist, white supremacist, Western civilization, how did that language become offensive? Today, after years of controversial comments, King stood on the House floor and said this.
That ideology never shows up in my head. I don't know how it could possibly come out of my mouth.
In his defense, King argued his comments were taken out of context, and then he repeated them in the way he wanted them delivered.
I want to read it to you the way I believe I said it. And that's this. White nationalist, white supremacist, Western civilization. How did that language become offensive?
But moments later, his colleagues, Democrats and Republicans, voted overwhelmingly to disapprove of his remarks. King is being stripped of his committee assignments, but today in the House, the Republican leader stopped short of saying King should go. Should he resign?
I think that's up to Steve King. The voters have elected him.
And at the White House, the president yesterday claimed he was unaware of the controversy.
I haven't been following it. I really haven't been following it.
All right, so let's get to Mary Bruce. She's live up on the Capitol tonight. And today that King should, quote, find another line of work.
No signs of leaving, and there isn't much that Congress is likely to do about it. They could vote to expel him here, but that is extremely rare. And in Iowa, voters can't remove him. They would have to wait 2
bombshell. And the British Prime Minister, Theresa May, suffering a crushing blow in Parliament today. She may now face a no confidence vote tomorrow. Can she survive? Here's ABC's Terry Moran now.